The crash on Varela 9. The sky above Varela 9 was dark and full of lightning. Clouds twisted like angry monsters. Deep in space, a human scout ship screamed through the storm. Smoke pouring from its engines. Inside, Commander Raylan struggled. To keep control. Come on. Not here, he whispered, hands tight on the controls. He was bleeding from his side. His systems were failing. Alarms flashed red. His mission was simple. Observe from orbit, report back to Earth. But someone had shot him down, someone powerful enough to detect a stealth ship. His ship hit the atmosphere hard. Fire lit up the sky. Varela 9 spun below like a blue-green coin, peaceful and cold. But it wasn't peaceful. Raylan knew this world. Humans were hated here. If they found him, they'd kill him. The crash was brutal. His ship tore through trees, broke apart, and finally slammed into the frozen dirt. The impact knocked Raylan unconscious. Hours passed. Snow began to fall. A white blanket slowly covered the wreckage. All was silent until footsteps crunched in the snow. A small alien girl, no more than 10, crept toward the ship. Her skin was a soft silver blue, her eyes wide with fear and wonder. Behind her stood her older brother, whispering urgently, "Don't touch it, Isla, if anyone sees you." "But look," she said, pointing. "There's someone inside." Through broken glass, they saw Raylan, blood on his face, barely breathing. "He's human." The boy hissed. "They'll burn the whole village if they find out." Hila stepped closer. "He's cold." "He'll die," she whispered. That night, the family made a choice. They pulled Raylan from the wreck, carried him through the woods under cover of darkness. He was heavy. His body was broken. But they didn't stop. They hid him in the root cellar behind their house, under sacks of dried food and old tools. They wrapped him in thick furs. They gave him water. They told no one. Even Hila's father, Elder Tharos, trembled with fear. "If the enforcers come, we lose everything," he said. "But we can't let him die." Raylan woke 2 days later. The room was dim. The air smelled of dry roots and smoke. Pain throbbed in every limb. Then he saw her little Isla sitting quietly with a bowl of hot broth. Where am I?" He croaked. "You're safe," she said softly. "But you can't speak loud. They will hear." Raylan's heart raced. He remembered the crash. He remembered Fire. And now he was in the home of aliens. Aliens who should have handed him over. But they didn't. "Why did you save me?" he asked. Hila looked down. "Because you looked scared." Outside, trouble was coming. A black ship landed near the village. Enforcers in dark armor spread out, scanning the trees, asking questions. "We tracked something falling here. Any wreckage? Any survivors?" People said nothing. But fear spread. Like smoke. One night, soldiers came to the door. Elder Tharos stepped out. Calm, polite, hiding terror in his eyes. "No humans here," he said. They left. For now, but Raylan knew it couldn't last. That night, he sat with the elder. "You should have let me die," Raylan said quietly. This could destroy your whole village." Tharos looked at him with tired eyes. "Maybe, but one day the stars will change. Maybe your kind will remember this." Raylan's jaw clenched. He thought of Earth. He thought of the mission. Of everything he had lost. "I promise," he whispered. "If I survive this, they'll never forget." But the next morning, soldiers returned. This time, they kicked down doors. This time, they found a boot print too large, too strange. They arrested Tharos. They beat the mother. Hila screamed. Raylan watched through a crack in the floorboards. Helpless. And just like that, the people who saved a human were taken. Asterisk. The kindness that changed everything the cell was cold. Elder Tharos sat on the metal floor, hands tied behind his back, blood drying on his lip. Across from him, a guard watched in silence. "Why would you protect a human?" The guard asked. "You know what they've done to our kind in the past." Tharos didn't speak. Not out of fear, but because words wouldn't matter now. In the forest, under heavy snow, Raylan limped through the dark trees. His ribs were cracked. His head still hurt, but his legs moved with purpose. He had escaped the cellar after the soldiers took the family. Now he was running again. Not to save himself, but to repay the kindness. They had hidden him, healed him, fed him, and paid the price. He would not let it end this way. Back in the village, Isla was alone. Her mother was injured. Her father was gone. She sat in the barn, clutching a torn scarf. She didn't cry. She stared at the snow falling through a broken roof tile. That's when Raylan appeared. She gasped. "They're looking for you." "Go." Raylan knelt beside her. "Ellie, I'm going to bring them back. I promise. But you'll die. Maybe. But Earth must know what happened here. You saved me. That matters." Raylan found an old comms relay buried in the hills left from an older war. It didn't work properly. But he was a scout. He was trained. He worked all night, freezing, coughing blood. Fingers numb. He boosted the signal. Then he sent the message. "This is Commander Raylan. Scout Team Echo 7. I was shot down on Varela 9. Locals saved me. There. Family was taken. I request immediate extraction and retaliation. They saved a human. Earth must save them." He ended the signal with the Earth code for Vengeance Protocol. Then he collapsed. Far above the planet, inside a dark ship orbiting in stealth mode. A blinking light came alive. A female officer leaned forward. "Ma'am, we got something. Emergency signal. Commander Raylan." "He's alive." General Voss stood slowly, eyes sharp as steel. "Vengeance Protocol?" "Yes, ma'am." She looked at the stars outside the window. Finally, she turned to the crew. The fleet. In the prison outpost, Varos was told he would be executed at dawn. The guards laughed. "You should have let the human die. Was it worth it?" He smiled faintly. "Yes." That night, a low rumble filled the sky. At first, no one understood what it was. Then the alarm screamed. A wall of blue fire tore through the clouds above the outpost. The humans had come. Raylan woke up to thunder in the sky and saw it. Massive human warships were descending. Drop pods pierced the atmosphere like glowing spears. People screamed. Soldiers ran. The ground shook. He smiled through cracked lips. They came. In the prison, explosions rocked the halls. Lights failed. The guards ran. Then the door burst. Open human soldiers in black armor stormed in. They found Tharos chained. One soldier spoke. "Are you Elder Tharos?" He nodded weakly. "You saved our man. We're here to return the favor." In the village, Ela looked up in awe. From above, dozens of Terran ships hovered in the clouds. The insignia of Earth glowed on their hulls. Everyone stared. The humans didn't just come to save one man. They came to rescue the whole village. Asterisk. Operation Dawnfire begins in the heart of Earth's hidden command station, Fort Echo. Buried under the icy surface of Europa, an alert echoed through every corridor. Signal verified. Scout Raylan is alive. Vengeance Protocol is active. General. Voss stood at the center of the operations chamber. Around her, massive screens lit up. Fleet icons glowed red, forming an arc over VIRLA-9. She didn't speak at first. She simply looked at the signal Raylan's voice still crackling from. The replay. They saved a human. Earth must save them. Voss's voice was calm but deadly. Begin Operation Dawnfire. Far across the stars, deep in cryo-storage hangars, humanity's war machines began to awaken. Carrier class, Titan Blade Destroyer Wing, Red Fangs, Shadow Units, Black Eclipse A Force Earth had kept hidden since the Galactic Wars. Quiet, waiting, watching. For 30 years, Earth had avoided war, but Earth never forgot. And when one of theirs was protected by aliens, Earth answered. Not with words, but with fire. Back on Virella 9, the Empire panicked. Their governors received a warning from a deep space sensor array, unidentified fleet incoming. No registry, multiple dreadnought-class vessels. Trajectory, Virella system. ETA, 3 hours. They laughed at first. Humans? They wouldn't dare. But then, Earth's stealth destroyers began knocking out satellites. In orbit, every Imperial. Relay station went dark one by one. The laughter stopped. On the ground, Raylan was carried into the dropship, still weak but alive. Beside him, Isla clutched his hand, her silver-blue skin glowing under the emergency lights. "Are you okay?" she asked. He gave a weak nod. "I told you. Earth doesn't forget." Outside the village, Terran medics treated the wounded. Engineers handed out food packs. Soldiers secured the area, but did not conquer. Instead, they protected. Aliens once told that humans were monsters saw something else. Loyalty, strength, honor. And they began to whisper. They came back. For us, at the Empire's regional command center, a full war council was called. Who gave the order to shoot down the human scout? An admiral demanded. No one spoke, because they all knew. They made one mistake. They harmed a human, and worse. They harmed the ones who helped him. Now, Earth was coming. Back on Earth, news spread fast. Screens across colonies lit up with a message. One act of kindness. One family. One rescue. Now the stars will never be the same. Children cheered in schools. Veterans volunteered to return to active duty. All because one alien child saved a dying human. In the skies above Virella 9, the first wave of Dawnfire. Fleet arrived. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't broadcast threats. They simply hovered in silence. Like thunderclouds before a storm. General Voss stood on the bridge of the Titan Blade, her voice steady. Phase 1 is complete. We have the survivor. We have the witnesses. Now, she said, we show the galaxy what happens when you hurt the ones who save us. From orbit, a single message was sent on all channels. To those who harm the innocent, Earth remembers, Earth returns, and Earth protects. The first strike the clouds above Virella 9 were quiet at dawn too. Quiet, children played in the snow. Farmers carried water buckets. Birds flew overhead. Then, the sky cracked open. A line of blue fire split the clouds as Earth's stealth cruiser Defiant Star, uncloaked mid-air, hovering silently like a giant predator. Before anyone could react, dozens of drop pods rained down from orbit, silver and black, trailing plasma, slamming into the ground like meteorites. They didn't strike cities. They struck prisons. They struck armories. They struck command centers. This wasn't war. This was surgical vengeance. In the main prison camp, Elder Tharos awoke to screams. Guards shouted orders. Sirens blared. Then the roof exploded. Terran troopers in black armor poured through the smoke, moving fast, silent, precise. They didn't fire randomly. They knew where each prisoner was. They knew where the guards would run. This was not revenge. It was strategy. One soldier found Tharos chained in a dark cell. "Are you Elder Tharos?" he asked, placing a hand on the old man's shoulder. Tharos nodded, weak. "You helped one of ours," the soldier said. "Now Earth helps you." In the air, Imperial patrol ships tried to rise. They never made it. Human fighters Valkyrie class danced through the skies like sparks in a storm, taking them down one by one. The Empire's defense grid activated. Turrets locked onto Earth's forces, but Earth was ready. An orbiting satellite blinked once. Then the entire defense grid shut down. In the capital of Virella 9. The enemy governor stared at a live feed in disbelief. "This isn't possible," he muttered. "This is just one planet. Earth can't commit this much power for a few civilians." But deep inside, he knew this wasn't about numbers. This was about a message. Raylan stood at the edge of the village, watching the blue fires in the distance. He wore a temporary brace on his leg, his wounds still fresh, but his heart was strong. Ela stood beside him, holding his hand tightly. "That's your people?" she asked. Raylan nodded. "They came for the ones who came for me." In a nearby base, a human commander transmitted a broadcast across all frequencies. "This is Earth's response force. You targeted civilians who gave mercy. You hurt those who showed us kindness. Today, we answer. We are not here to conquer. We are here to protect." Across Virella 9, resistance fighters once silent rose up. They saw humans helping their own people, not ruling them. They joined Earth's soldiers. For the first time in years, hope returned to the people of Virella. Meanwhile, aboard the Titan Blade, General Voss stood before a galactic channel broadcasting. Live. Alien worlds watched her face, some with fear, some with hope. She spoke only one line. One girl saved a human. So now, humanity saves her world. And the galaxy listened. Asterisk. The ones who stood with us, the fires over Virella 9, still burned, but they were no longer fires of destruction. They were beacons. All across the stars, alien ships picked up the same transmission on repeat. No threats, no demands. Just a simple message. To those who show mercy to a human, you are never forgotten. We came back for one. Now we stand for all. On the desert moon of Serion 2, the reptilian Cradle clan watched the footage in silence. Humans returned. For an alien child, one of their leaders whispered. Another nodded. They did what the old empires never did. They protect, not just fight. The Cradle opened a channel. We will speak to Earth. On Virella 9, Commander Raylan stood with Elder Tharos in the center of the village. The people who had once hidden him now stood in the open, watching Earth soldiers rebuild homes, hand out medical packs, fix broken equipment. Why are they helping us? One alien farmer asked. They don't need a reason, Tharos replied. Only a memory. In orbit, General Voss stared at a new map of the galaxy. Red marks showed the Empire's hold. But now, green lights were appearing. Small, scattered, but growing. Planets, stations, even fleets were signaling Earth. These were species once oppressed by the Empire. Now they wanted to stand with it. Humans. Not out of fear, but out of respect. Meanwhile, the Imperial Council gathered in panic. They're rallying the broken worlds, one admiral said. Even planets we crushed are answering Earth's call. The High Chancellor slammed his fist. All this for one scout? But deep down, he knew. It was never about just Raylan. It was about what Earth had become. In a jungle outpost on Kirel. Prime, an old alien soldier, cleaned his ancient rifle. His people had once helped humans in the Great Collapse, and then been forgotten by everyone. Except Earth. Now, he saw their ships flying again. Their flag waving above Virella. Tears filled his eyes. They came back, he whispered. They really came back. Back on Virella 9, Isla sat beside a growing tree planted near the crash. Sight, Raylan joined her, his uniform clean now, his face still scarred. She looked up. Will they come again? She asked. The Empire? He replied. She shook her head. The ones who stood with us. Raylan smiled. They're already here. And he pointed to the sky, where dozens of alien ships had just arrived, not to invade, but to join. That evening, a message from Earth played across thousands of systems. They rescued a human. We returned for them, and now we rise together. They thought we came alone. The stars shimmered above Virella 9, quiet and still. But beyond the calm, war was coming. From the edge of the Andralis sector, the Empire's 217th warfleet roared toward the planet 200 ships strong. Battle cruisers, bombers, planet-burners. They came with one goal: crush Earth's little rebellion. Wipe the village from existence. Make the galaxy fear again. On board the lead ship, Admiral Korvik smirked. Let's remind the humans. This galaxy still belongs to the Empire. In orbit above Virella 9, Earth's fleet was outnumbered badly. Only 23 human ships held position defending the alien villagers below. Inside the bridge of the Titan Blade, alarms flashed. They're coming in fast, the officer reported. We're outgunned 10-1. General Voss didn't blink. Good, she said. Let them come closer. She tapped a button on her arm console. Execute whisper protocol. Across deep space, something stirred. Warp gates began to hum in distant galaxies. Cloaked fleets powered up and then one by one ships appeared beside. Earth's fleet not human ships alien ones. Cradle dreadnoughts, Valari flame frigates, Acheron needle fighters. Even the peaceful Wayalari brought stealth cruisers of shimmering light. Over 50 alien species arrived in Earth's defense. Together, they formed a wall of fire around Virella-9 on the Empire's flagship. Admiral Korvik's smile vanished. What is this? He gasped. The radar showed hundreds of ships. Not just Earth, not just one race. A unified fleet. One signal. Kept repeating. They helped a human. We helped them. Now we stand for each other. On the surface, villagers watched the sky in awe. Isla held Raylan's hand, eyes wide. Who are they? She whispered. Raylan smiled. They're the ones who never forgot. They came because of you. General Voss stood on her bridge, facing. The holomap filled with green dots. She sent one final transmission to the enemy. You thought we came alone. You were wrong. You taught the galaxy to fear. We taught them to stand together. Then she raised her hand. Fire. The battle that followed was like nothing the galaxy had seen in centuries. Earth's AI-guided railguns tore through the Empire's front line. Cradle boarding ships latched onto enemy hulls like metal claws. Valari flameships weaved between cruisers, leaving trails of fire and ash. Waylari stealth beams shattered command decks in perfect silence. The Empire's fleet, once so proud, burned in less than 2 hours. 200 ships became shattered wreckage, drifting like ashes in the void. Admiral Korvik's ship exploded, last silent and alone. On Virella 9, bells rang. The people celebrated, but Raylan, Tharos, and Voss didn't cheer. They stood in silence, because it wasn't about winning a war. It was about repaying a debt. And they had just done it. Together. Asterisk. We never forget our own. The war was over. In orbit, the stars above Virella 9 were filled with smoke and drifting wreckage. The once great Imperial fleet now floated in silence-broken metal, lost signals, fading lights. But down below, something different was happening. Not fear. Not silence, but celebration. In the center of the village, children ran with glowing ribbons. Music played from portable speakers brought by Terran soldiers. Humans and aliens sat side by side, sharing food and laughter. But the loudest cheers weren't for generals or warriors. They were for one small girl. Illa. The child who once gave soup to a dying human. General Voss stood beside Elder Tharos, both, watching the people rejoice. "We didn't win just with guns," Voss said quietly. Tharos nodded. "No, you won with memory." Later that night, a stage was set in the village square. Holographic lights filled the sky. Earth's flag and Varela's ancient sun symbol shone side by side. Commander Raylan, his wounds now healed, walked to the center of the stage, microphone in hand. He stood beside Isla and her family. Thousands watched the live broadcast from across the galaxy. Raylan spoke simply. "They saved one of us when they didn't have to. They risked everything. And Earth never forgets its own." He turned to Isla and held out a small crystal cube, glowing softly. "This is Earth's highest honor. It doesn't go to soldiers. It goes to heroes." Ila's hands trembled as she accepted it. Tears filled her mother's eyes. The entire crowd stood in silence, then erupted in applause. Far across the stars, planets that had once ignored Earth now listened closely. Old enemies watched with respect. Former. All eyes reached out again. The message was clear. If you harm one of ours, you answer to all of us. But if you help one of ours, you are family forever. On a peaceful hill just outside the village, Earth engineers raised a memorial. In stone it read, "For the family who fed a stranger. For the child who held hope. For the ones who showed us what it means to be human." As the camera panned out, the final scene showed a united world human and alien flags, waving in the same wind. No longer enemies. No longer strangers. One force. Bound by memory. By kindness. By honor. Because Earth may fight hard, but it never forgets the ones who stood with it. Even if it started with just one little girl. The end asterisk.